Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk Lego. In this episode, the trio talks about their past at Lego and how many things they've lost along the way. I hope you enjoy.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the first official episode of Let's Talk Lego. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Minifig Central.
Hello, how's it going, everybody?
And Burke Bucas.
Hello, it's Lucas here.
Alright, so first things first, the Lego silhouette people are going to be a little off just because I haven't perfected it 100%, and most of mine are looking at the camera, so I'm going to be looking at the camera for a bit, but these two other guys are going to be fine.
Well, it's great to be on the podcast, and I can't wait to talk Lego.
I know, great to have you guys here. So our first order of business, our childhoods with Lego.
I think this is a great topic to start out with so you can know our Lego journey and how we got into Lego. And I feel like it can be a relatable topic because everyone had a start.
Well, most of us had a bit of a rough start, but maybe that's a good place to start. Most of our rough starts started with us as kids, destroying everything. So we don't have a lot of stuff from our childhood anymore, except for Bucas here, who has just started his childhood.
Well, not just started it.
Oh, a little bit at least, right?
Almost near the end of it.
So let's start off with a question. What was your first ever? And then we'll get down to details of what kind of theme,
So my first Lego set was actually the Lego Agent sets. I had the Agent's truck. It was the original, the blue one. But the unfortunate thing about that set was I couldn't properly build it.
Oh,
so my dad did it, but he didn't build it properly. So it constantly fell apart.
Oh, no.
So that set was never really fully complete, and it was kind of, it's just falling apart on me. And eventually it's just now a pile of scraps in my bins.
I know you had one of the pirate ships, and I have it now because we traded with it. Which came first, though? The Agents or the pirate? That's what I'm wondering.
The Agents.
The Agents?
It was given to me for my birthday or something like that.
The pirate ship?
No, the Agents.
Oh, the Agents.
And then I think the pirate set was a Christmas gift. And I actually had most of the early pirate line.
Oh, interesting.
Except for, I think it was the island set.
Oh.
But I had the Pirates theme I had most of the sets of, and they're all taken apart now, and I don't really know where they are, but that's how it goes.
Right, some of them are with me now. I have for those who don't know, I have a collection of almost all of the pirate ships. We have Barracuda Bay, not the Bay. We have the Black Seas Barracuda. The Bay is gone. I'll have Bucas explain that one, and I'll be the last one to talk about my childhood because it was also pretty scary, but I think even more scary than Minifig Central's over here.
Well, my first set was actually the Hoth Attack from Lego Star Wars, and then I kind of just got into Lego City and stayed mostly in there. I don't remember my first Lego sets, mainly because I broke most of them, but I know my first ever Lego set was definitely the Hoth Attack, and I still do break a few things nowadays, but including the Bay for Barracuda Bay, but that's mostly it, and I don't break too much. Mainly my mock, if I ever need part that I use for my mock.
You do have 3 bins full of Lego pieces.
Actually, it's more like 7, but we don't talk about all those.
I would argue that Rick Lucas's breaking kind of makes what his whole page is. It's mainly reusing stuff, making new stuff, and it's kind of what makes his content, because he's all about repurposing stuff and modifying it, and that's what he's really into, and he needs all those pieces. So
True, good point.
And most of my YouTube videos are about my custom stuff rather than real set that I own.
If you guys didn't know, me and Bucas here have YouTube channels. I think you probably got to hear from my Instagram. So you already probably know about it. If you don't, it's going to be in the link down below along with Lucas's and all of our Instagrams. So you can go like and follow, share, save, do all that good stuff.
yeah, my Instagram page is currently in hiatus, but it will be back. I'm trying to up the content on it. I'm trying to make it better quality and take more time with my posts and hopefully grow the page because that's my main content creating source.
So, my childhood. I don't know if I remember my first Lego set. I think looking far back enough, I think it was the old Clone Battle Pack, Phase 1 Battle Pack. I think I actually had 2 of those at one point. But I think that was my first one. Those are long gone. Any remnants of any old Phase 1 Clone Troopers are left in just plain torsos laying about my bins. But other than that, I think I was mostly Star Wars for most of my Lego life, I guess. But I did delve a few times into Lego City because I had the old police boat and the old police truck. Now the only one out of those two that we actually managed to rebuild was the truck. And one of the reasons why I don't have one of the two anymore and was only managed to build out one of the two was because of Buka's here.
I will say I did try to rebuild the boat.
That was true.
And also don't forget about the Lego City plane.
The Lego City plane, the helicopter. The helicopter is still in kind of working condition, but it's kind of in rough shape at the moment. But I can't say that I remember too much about breaking things. I know I did because I know I had so much more than I do now. But one of the old relics from back in my day that I still have and will always have and am trying to currently rebuild is the Darth Vader Collector's Edition TIE Advanced 1. I think it's part of the UCS, but I don't think so either. I don't know. I have to look more into it.
It's I believe it's a special line that they had or a bit, and it's technically UCS, but I don't think they had UCS at that point. But a fantastic set. I mean,
let me see if I can pull it up.
Actually, they did have UCS for a long time because they made the TIE Interceptor back in 2001, I'm pretty sure.
What was it called, UCS?
I don't know if it was called UCS, but nowadays it's considered UCS.
Well, yeah.
I don't think it was a bundle.
It's not.
Can't really tell. It's kind of small. But we're looking... here it is. Okay. We're looking at Bricklink for those who know it and those who don't. Bricklink is a really great source of the Lego sets and how to get them. The box is kind of small. But I think there's a little seal at the bottom. I'll have it on the video so you guys can still see what we're looking up. But these are selling in America. The cheapest one is $34.99 in blade with condition. So there's a lot of nicks, a lot of dings. It's very dusty and stickers are applied, but one is missing. That kind of condition is kind of cheaper, but I don't know. I wouldn't consider it a very expensive or rare set.
Nowadays, those old sets, it's not really about being able to get them. Sure, you can get them, but this thing will be missing. What makes those old sets expensive is the condition they're in. If you want to get something old like that in a good condition, if you wanted to get that new, I'm sure it's much more expensive. But I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, I found this old set in my bin and I'm trying to sell it, and then they can't sell it for as much because it's all banged up. On the topic of early Star Wars sets, my first set was actually the clone pack, but it was the one with what are the orange one troopers?
The Bomber Squad?
The Bomber Squad. I had those and the ARC Trooper, the plain white ARC Trooper, and the speeder bike.
I loved the Bomber Squad as a kid. Those were my favorite. I know everyone hates them now because everyone's like, oh, they're so ugly. But I love them. They're awesome.
What I appreciate about them is it's a unique clone. I feel like nowadays, now Lego's a bit better about it, but those unique clones, we don't get a lot of unique clones. It's really they stick with, we'll make phase 1 troopers and then plane troopers and we'll just reuse them for everything.
Right.
There's moments where they will make special troopers like that.
I also want to mention that Billiam did have Commander Cody once. We still don't know where that has gone, but...
Looking through old pictures of custom minifigures, I say custom in quote, of clones. I did have one, and the torso is somewhere. It's here in my house somewhere, but I can't find it. I don't know where the heck it is. It's so iconic. You would be able to see it from a mile away, but it's just gone, and I have no idea where it is.
I have the Phase 1 Commander Cody as well. It's one of the earlier sets I got, but problem with playing with Legos as a kid, you pick up those cracks and those scratches, and mine has double cracks in the torso. It's really bad, and I'm looking to replace that in my collection, because if you follow my Instagram page, I have the minifigure collection. Not much of it is showing off currently, because I need to get back to making content, but Commander Cody is a minifigure I need to replace, because it's old, bad condition, and it's an iconic figure to have.
I feel like a lot of expensive stuff that we had as a kid is all broken and damaged nowadays, and is never in good condition.
Which is why my earlier point about how you'll find the old sets, but they'll be in bad condition and not the new condition would make them expensive. It's just one of those things that comes with Lego, is like it being a toy technically.
It's one of those things you have to accept while being a kid. Things will break and disappear very quickly.
And things do disappear a lot around here. It's like a thing that happens. We're missing a lot of pieces and minifigures that you think we'd be able to find easily, but have just disappeared.
I know, Billiam, you actually had a General Grievous at one point.
I did. I had the Clone Wars one, and so here's the story on that. We had an old like minivan, like one of the Grand Caravans, and I had them with me, as all kids do. You bring along your Legos wherever you go. It's just a thing you do. If you don't do it, good for you, but also, a little weird. Anyways, I had them in my hands, and like they were back then, I feel like this wasn't only me, but the heads came off really easily on the General Grievuses, and you can kind of guess where this is going. I lost the head in between the seats, and we never went to go get it again. We don't have that van anymore. It's gone. We scrapped it. So yeah, there's no retrieving the head for that one. I don't even know where the body is at this point. I think I just abandoned it after the head was gone.
I think that General Grievous is one of the less kid-friendly molds.
Yeah.
Because, you got 4 arms that the clips on those wear out very easily, I've noticed.
Yeah.
In fact, I store my General Grievous apart because I think the clip loosens the longer it's on the neck piece. So I actually store it non-clip together because I don't think it's very efficient at staying nice and tight over time.
Right. That kind of reminds me of, I just brought down my Zeb from my Ghost, and I have to keep him separate from his legs, which is something I gotta do. But it just goes to show just how brittle and unpredictable some of these molds and plastics can be from Lego.
Yeah, if you are a Zeb owner, an important thing to know is that color is very fragile. In fact, my Zeb has the tiniest crack. You actually can't see it unless you get if you really look closely. But
which is crazy because that means that it's not worth anything. Right?
It's not worth as much as it would be if it wasn't cracked.
Right.
I think mine's still decent value because it's such a tiny crack. But if you go online, you'll see ones with big cracks. And the thing about that one, even if you have it in controlled room environment with Zeb, it will still crack on you. So don't have the torso fully down the legs because that's what creates the pressure for them to crack. I recommend taking the legs out of the torso and having it rest only slightly on the legs.
Speaking of the Ghost, let's talk about middle of our years of Lego. Lucas, you're kind of in that state, but maybe we can figure something out for you. Things we missed. I know I missed so many years of Lego.
Our dark ages is what you're referring to.
Yeah, yeah, our dark ages, yeah.
So my dark ages were after the wave of the Headhunter. After that year, I think I missed the whole 3-year time span where I didn't get any sets. But the Headhunter wave, I had actually gone. I think I was only missing one of the sets out of that wave. But I missed out on things like the Jabba's sail barge, which sucked because I had Jabba's palace. I had the Rancor pit, but I don't have the sail barge.
You can see both of those reviews on my channel. They're both his. They're not mine. I do borrow stuff from him. Disclaimer. So not all the stuff you see on my channel is true. And Bukas too. Bukas is I borrow some of his stuff. So I guess I should put that down in the description, shouldn't I?
But luckily, now that I'm older, I earned some money here and there. I've gone back and I've gotten the things I've wanted. But I don't necessarily have the sets from back in the day because I'm mainly minifigure focused. But all the minifigures that I wanted, I've gone back and purchased.
Right, like the Slave Leia, right? You got the Slave Leia.
Yes, Slave Leia. If you're into Lego investing, it might be kind of late, but I recommend getting that Slave Leia. I feel like there's no way they ever do her again.
And speaking of investments, Mon Mothma, Andor's coming up.
Yes, that's a recent purchase I made. I'm kind of iffy on it only because they might make a new one,
right.
But it's been this long. I think you'll see a short-term spike if you really want to buy it and then sell it. But if they announce a new one, they'll probably drop back down.
So, my dark ages are a little weird because I don't remember them. I don't remember much from my childhood. I think I have to wait a little bit because it seems like older people remember their childhoods pretty easily. I guess you won't really remember it when you're in it, kind of like you don't know when the good old days are until you're out of them. But I do know that I was away from Star Wars Lego for a long time because I have nothing from some of those waves. Mindy Central over here has, Jabba's Palace, Rancor Pit. I had nothing. Maybe like a few tinier sets and maybe like a figure or two, but nothing from any big sets from that time. I was very Lego City, Lego Ninjago centered. I was a big fan of the old Lego Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu show, not the new one. I don't really like the new one. It's a hot take, but yeah.
But that was kind of a sucky time to miss out on Lego because they had the gunship.
Right.
We went over Jabba, so
Imagine.
lots of good sets in that time period. I think a golden era going on, and
Skip right by. Yeah, that's right. I got General Grievous' old Starfighter. That's where he came from, the Clone Wars version. I don't remember who came with that.
He came with his repair droid. I remember that.
That's right. Oh, man.
And I think it came with a Jedi.
that's
too.
not from your Dark Ages. That's from earlier in your childhood.
Yeah. That came with, or not the set, but like that era, I think. Was the Anakin Starfighter part of that? Or would that be later past the Dark Ages area?
I think that one came out like 2013, so near when the Headhunter came out. So I think you just weren't like big into Star Wars, but you would pick up the occasional set then. Like you missed out on Captain Rex Speeder, which I think anyone who was into Lego at the time and didn't get that set is really like
missing out. Really missing out.
Because that Captain Rex is just crazy value now, and I just have mine luckily, and just to think I got him in a $20 set.
It's insane. It's crazy. I probably, if I had the mind I did back then, that like I do now, I would have bought like 2 or 3 of those, because not only was I a big fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi as a kid, but I loved Captain Rex, and I think that would have just been such a missed opportunity. All right, so we're going to wrap it up a little bit, but first, before we do any sort of wrapping up, we have our news and leaks section brought to you exclusively by Minifig Central.
So, Lego news, there hasn't really been much going on because we obviously had the huge wave, which was fantastic. Lots of good sets coming out. I feel like everyone enjoyed the wave. It was full of great sets. I know like lots of people enjoyed the classic sets that they went back in. I know Lucas really liked the castle set.
Yeah.
Bill like the Galaxy Explorer.
Oh yeah.
And the Star Wars sets were good. I think there was a couple misses, but I think we could get into that at a different time. But
yeah.
The Lego news wise, we have Lego news wise, we have the advent calendars. We got pictures of them,
and for all of us B-Wing fans out there, we finally, after so long of waiting, got ourselves a miniature B-Wing. And I think that puts the icing on the cake. There's no better place than Lego to get a miniature B-Wing. We finally got it, and I'm just so excited.
Are you interested in the Harry Potter one at all? Because I know you're big into Harry Potter.
I do wish that a lot of these sets or a lot of these models were made in Lego, because there's some things like the T-16 Skyhopper that hasn't been made since 2015, and even the TIE Interceptor, which hasn't been made for so long that it's still blue like the old TIE fighters. But going on to the Harry Potter side of stuff, this is just a really good set for all those Harry Potter fans. There are a lot of good builds representing all of the movies, and it's always good to see a bit of representation for the Deathly Hallows.
I did notice, and someone else pointed this out on Instagram, the Hogwarts train mini build is from the Deathly Hallows. The plate that they use at the bottom is from the Deathly Hallows, is what they use for all the other Deathly Hallow references in the set, which could mean that the Hogwarts train is from Deathly Hallows, which means we get the kids of Harry Potter, Hermione, Ron, we get all of those guys, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hey guys, Future Billiam here. We recorded this on Saturday, and the next day it got revealed, so I mean, you all are gonna already know this stuff, but this is the hard take that we had from this episode, so I'll keep it going.
More news on the Hogwarts train. We have a printed tile featuring the ticket to Hogwarts, and this is from Cromwell Bricks. I'm reading a story post, but he says the reveal will be on August 16th.
So we have a date and time when you will see the leak of the Hogwarts train. Very anticipated. I think a lot of us have been waiting for that. I don't know how it's gonna look, just because I don't know how much bigger it needs to be than the one that already came out. much bigger. I'm getting much
Probably.
bigger.
I mean, it is a very large locomotive.
Since we're talking about upcoming UCS sets, the Razor Crest, I want to hear everyone's thought on this upcoming set.
Look, I've got a hard take on it, okay? The figures are not impressing me so far. The Quill looks like he's straight out of that Megamind meme, and I can't get it out of my head. I don't see how... Look, if they make an Ahsoka and she looks good, okay, that's good. If they add that fish guy, even better. But so far, I'm not impressed. I just want to see more, I think.
I can't agree with William. The Quill minifigure does look really weird. They should have just used the old head mold that they already had for the Ugnaughts, but they decided to make his head super long, and it just is so weird and very inaccurate to the minifigure or to the character himself.
I think it was one of those moments where you see the leak and you're like, this can't be real, because it's like almost a joke. It's kind of like
crazy.
what it reminds me of, like, is the original Sonic character where it's like,
Oh my
this
gosh,
looks
right?
so bad, this can't be real.
You
But-
think it's another marketing play? You think they're just showing a fake one off? Yeah.
Well, no, they've had official, like, those are stolen from the factories and whatever. But
Right.
the thing about if you look at the Razor Crest from the non-minifigures perspective, you're gonna get a great set. I mean, the build's gonna be phenomenal, but figure-wise, you're probably only gonna get 2 exclusive figures in the long run, because the Ugnaughts gonna probably stay exclusive, and you're gonna have the blue dude stay exclusive to that. But Ahsoka, I think they do an exclusive Ahsoka as a big draw to the set originally, but they'll come back with an Ahsoka set and they'll reuse the figure.
But I think that wraps everything up. The news, the talk, everything. So next episode, we will be having a guest, a surprise guest that will be announced on my Instagram. But as for this episode, this is our first episode. I think it went well.
It was a pleasure.
It was definitely a pleasure.
It was a fun time being here.
And you both will come back for the next episode.
I'll be here.
All right. So if you liked this video or like this podcast, wherever you find it, like it, share it, send it out there, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Goodbye.